Today we're building a PC that makes no sense on paper, but when you actually build it, it makes a whole lot of sense. And now let's get this build started. Don't forget to peel this off for your thermal pad. So these are the Intel backplates. We're not going to be needing these. This is the Intel hardware. We're going to be using the AMD, which is the orange hardware. And the front plate, which is used for both the sockets, AMD or Intel, doesn't matter. Comes with its own thermal paste, but I'm going to be using a different brand thermal paste. You always want to tighten these screws in a cross pattern. Now our motherboard is completely ready to go inside the PC case. This is what it looks like. We got our RAM, CPU, the cooler mount, and the NVMe installed. Let's go ahead and drop it into our PC case. So we're going to be removing the power supply mount and mounting the power supply at the front here. And the power supply will be drawing its own fresh air from the front of the case. You can remove this panel if you want to, if it gets in the way of your graphics card or the power supply. So this is how the bracket sits inside. Here I'll be using the screws provided with the power supply to mount it to the power supply mount. And if you want to see the full unboxing video and all the cables this power supply came with, check out the link in the description. I've already got all the necessary cables plugged in, which is the motherboard 24-pin cable, the 8-pin for the CPU, and the 8-pin PCIe for the graphics card. And we want our power supply to be drawing air in from the front, so the fan is going to be facing the front of the case. So it's going to go inside the mount, something like this. Power supply is secured onto the bracket, and now we can go ahead and mount the bracket back in the case. This part can be a little tricky as you have to hold the power supply with one hand and screw it down with the other. This is the cable that comes with the case, which extends the power supply's power cable. Make sure to press this down all the way. And don't forget to turn the power supply switch on. The other one is for the zero fan control. So I'm going to leave that on off. Even on lower loads, the fan will always spin. But if you want a PC that is super quiet while idling or on low loads, you can turn Smart Zero Fan on. I don't like the look of this, but oh well. So here you can see I got all the cables routed. We got the 24-pin connector for the motherboard. We got the CPU 8-pin over here. We got our GPU 8-pin. We got the HD audio. We got the front panel connector, USB 3 connector, and USB-C connector. All we gotta do now is drop the motherboard in, screw the motherboard down, and then we can start hooking up all these cables. Right now would be a good time to install the I/O shield. Be careful when you do this, it has sharp edges. And here comes our motherboard, ready to be dropped in the case. And on this board, the socket for the front panel is called JFP1. And now we're only left with the HD audio connector for the front panel. For a rear exit fan, I'm going to be hooking that up to the connector right here called System Fan 1. And now let's go ahead and plug these fans in. So we just connected this fan to the system fan header 3, and this fan is going to get connected over here by our USB-C connector, which is labeled as system fan header 2. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the boring part off camera, which is the cable management. So I'm going to take care of all the cables at the front and the back, and then we'll be installing our CPU cooler and the Intel B580. After some cable management, this is what our inside of the case looks like. And now let me show you the back. It's not the prettiest, but the panel will cover everything, so we don't need to worry about it. Now let's go ahead and mount the cooler on, and this is the thermal paste I'm going to use. Do not forget to peel this off. And I'll be plugging in the CPU cooler right here where it says CPU fan 1. Go back and forth between both the screws so there's even pressure on the CPU. And that will also help spread the thermal paste evenly. You can tighten it all the way, it'll auto stop. And now we're ready to install the graphics card. Make sure this tab for the graphics card slot is pressed down. And now we can finally go ahead and drop the graphics card in. Looks like this is getting in the way, so I'm going to go in on an angle because I don't want to remove that part because there is no need. And there was that click sound. And now we'll hook up the power for the graphics card, the 8-pin PCIe connector.
All stations, we are green to go. Stand by for deployment. Resurgence! Stay alive to keep the squad in the fight.
We should land here!
Enemy soldier incoming. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting.
Eagles here. Cancel last. Stripes.
close!
That's freaking.
Yep.